Hello and welcome to another Lawn Fun video. Today we're taking a look at the new mini set Year 14, as well as the new mini set Little Dragon Flip Flop. Flip flop stamps are when we take a popular image that we already have and flip it in the other direction. So now we have two little dragons that will face each other. So let's stamp these out and take a look at the images. Of course, in the Little Dragon Flip Flop, we have that cute little dragon. There's also a solid birthday cake, a flame with a little solid detail in it, and a solid birthday candle for the cake. There's also a candle without a flame and a flame individually as well, so you could stamp them in different colors. The sentiment says, "I hope your birthday is flame-tastic." There is also a little stamp in here that says, "Roar." Now I'm coloring my dragon purple. I always like to color purple dragons for some reason, but it's also really cute in green or any color because they're magical and imaginary and can be any color you like. So I'm just using 2 shades of purple and 2 shades of green to color in my little dragon. To add some texture, I'm using a really dark purple just to add a few little dots to my dragon as well, which is a fun look. For the little birthday cake and the flame, I'll just color these in with one solid color. So I have an orange flame, and then I'm coloring in the icing of the birthday cake with a teal color. If you stamped these in colored ink, you wouldn't have to color these in if you didn't want to. Now we can take our snips and snip apart the dies or bend them, and we can line them up with our images and hold them in place with a little bit of low tack tape. And now we have all these cute images from this mini set. You can have the birthday cake with the candle, or you could also have a candle without the flame, so it looks like the dragon is lighting the candle with the fire from its mouth, which is really fun. So you could just do the single candle right there, or you could add the flame. Now let's take a look at year 14. It has this really fun bunch of grapes in this set, and then all these really cute smiley faces. There are 4 different smiley faces. We have a regular one, a winky one with a tongue sticking out, which is my favorite, and then this one with a different mouth. And these fit perfectly on this little bunch of grapes, so you can add little smiles to your grapes if you want to. The sentiment in this set says, "Have a grape birthday," which I think is so much fun. And there's also some small stamps that says, "You're so grape," and "Yum." Now I've pulled out 3 shades of purple to color in my grapes, and I'm just starting in the dark areas where I think there would be shadow where those grapes overlap, and then blending out with my medium tone and then out to the light tone. And of course, you could color these grapes in any color. They're not just purple. I also have that little stem and the little leaf in green. You could also trace that little vine in green if you wanted as well. Then there is a die that will cut this bunch of grapes out perfectly, including that cute little curly vine out the top. How cute are these little grapes? Now let's make some cards with these little grapes. I also colored and cut out some cute little party hats from all the party hats, and I'm going to be making a birthday card. I'm using some papers from the Pint-Sized Patterns Summertime Petite paper pack. I'm using an outside-in stitch circle and a stitch circle scallop frame to create a focal point on my card. For the background, I'm going to use this darker blue grid pattern paper from that same collection and cut that out with a stitched rectangle. So these will just layer over each other and layer in the center of this rectangle. I also cut a piece of the 12 by 12 paper with that same little heart detail, and that's going to layer behind and give us a purple border. So I'll add this to a card base. And then to add my dark blue panel, I want to pop that up with some foam tape. So I've put foam tape all over the back, and I'll just add that right there, and I have that nice little purple border with those cute little hearts, which matches the smaller size hearts for this circle. I'm adding some liquid glue around the edge of the back side of my frame, and I'll just layer these two together to create this cute little circle frame. Now for my little grapes, I want them to look like they are ready to party, which is why I cut out these little party hats. So I'm adding some party hats to a couple of the grapes with the faces, and I just think this is a nice, fun addition to dress up the grapes for a birthday card. I am going to add this with a little bit of foam as well. I'm using some thin foam squares, so it's just popped up just slightly off this circle. And then once I have these in place, I'm going to do a little stamping around these cute little grapes with those small little sentiments in the set. And I'm using some grape jelly ink, which I think is so appropriate for this card. So I will stamp the little stamps that say "You're so grape" and "Yum" right around the little bunch of grapes. Now I'm adding some more of those thin foam squares to the back of my circle, and I will just pop this onto my card. So I have a lot of dimension going on in this pretty simple card. For my sentiment, I have the smallest of these stitch sentiment banners cut from some white cardstock, and the sentiment that says "Have a great birthday." I just lined it up all the way across. It fits this little banner perfect, and I'm going back to that grape jelly ink so I have that purple sentiment to match my grapes. And of course, I will pop this up with some foam squares as well and line this up right below my circle. Now I did want to make this look even more like a party, so I cut some yellow stars with the Hearts and Stars skinny tag die from the yellow pattern paper from the Pint-Sized Pattern Summertime Collection and just sprinkled those around my card. I'll also add some glitter to these stars, of course, because we want them to shimmer and shine. I also added some glitter to the little party hats so that they look even more festive, and just a little bit of glitter to that leaf on that bunch of grapes as well. And here is that finished card. I think it's super cute and super fun and was pretty quick to put together with this cute little mini set. Now let's make a card using the little dragon flip-flop. I also colored and cut out the original little dragon, and I'm going to use the two of them together. Now I did want to stamp out the solid cake and the solid candle from the new flip-flop set, and I'm using some colored ink for this. So I have peacock ink for my little cake, and then I'm going to stamp the candle in the two separate pieces. So I have guava for the candle and fake tan for the flame, and I'm stamping them close together so that I can cut them out with the die that cuts the two out together. But before I cut that out, I wanted to show you a really cool trick. The original Little Dragon set has a candle as well that is outlined, and if you stamp that, these two line up. You can use the solids in the Little Dragon flip-flop to color in the candle from the original Little Dragon. How fun is that? So I used fake tan with the solid flame to stamp right inside that outline, and I'm doing the same with my guava ink to stamp right inside the candle. So you kind of have two different options. We have the outline candle that's colored in and the solid candle. For this card today, I'm using the solid candle with my solid cake, but you can see that you get a very different look depending on what you want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that little candle to my cake so it's all one piece. And then I'm going to stamp out my sentiment, and I'm going to line this sentiment in this set all the way across so it fits this long banner. It says, "I hope your birthday is flame-tastic." And I am going to stamp this just slightly towards the right side. It does fill it up pretty well, but that's because I'm just going to trim off that left side. Now I'm recreating a card made by Audrey, so thank you so much, Audrey. So we have the fun sunburst backdrop cut from white cardstock, and then I will layer behind it the colorful polka dot paper from the Pint-Sized Patterns Summertime Collection. I also have the bunting border cut from some narwhal cardstock, and I cut out the little pennant flags from various papers from the Pint-Sized Patterns Summertime Collection. And I will just put this on here with a little bit of liquid glue. I like that Audrey had this overlap that little circle, which is a lot of fun, and it kind of creates some fun dynamic movement across the card. Then I can add some liquid glue to those little pennants and add my colorful little banners. And I like that she mixed up the patterns. It really looks like a fun birthday party is about to happen on this card with those cute little dragons. This is a great way to use up some scraps that you may have of your pattern paper as well. So I can just trim off the part that is hanging over the side. I actually knocked off this one, so let me glue that right back on there. My glue just wasn't quite dry yet. And now I'm ready to start to assemble my card. So let me put this whole background that I created onto a card base. And then next I'm going to add that sentiment banner. So Audrey had this kind of hanging off the left side, so I'm just going to trim off the fishtail here so I have a straight edge. And then I will add this with some foam squares so it's nice and popped up. This kind of gives a little ground for our little dragons to stand on. Now I can add all of my little images. So I have the original little dragon. I also stamped and colored this cute little bundle of balloons from the Yappy birthday stamp set. You could get balloons from any of those stamp sets that have balloons. I just think it really makes this look like a fun party scene. And then of course I have my little flip-flop dragon. And I love that we have a flip-flop option now, so these two little dragons can face each other on a card. I am adding the little flame, just gluing it directly to that background so they look like they're blowing out the candle for this little cake that will be in the center. And then I wanted to add some embellishments. Audrey added some yellow stars, and I just pulled out all my little extra stars here and thought I would pull out a bunch of different colors so it really looked like a party. So I'm just putting a rainbow of stars around, and I think that this matches the pattern paper and the colorful balloons so perfectly. And then here is my finished card, inspired by the card that Audrey created. So thank you so much, Audrey, for letting me remake your card today. Now let's take a look at some examples from the design team. First up, let's look at some Year 14 cards. This card by Grace is so much fun, and I love all the little ants she added carrying the grapes around. So cute. I love Elise's clean and simple card with that big, bold sentiment. And then this card by Elena is so fun. I love how she stamped and cut out mini grapes to make a really cool background. Megan paired up the cute little grapes with the How You Bean jar and Let's Toast to make a really fun peanut butter and jelly card. And then this card by Letitia is so sweet. I love how she used the backdrop and that stenciled wreath to frame up those little grapes. I love this card by Maureen. Those little mice are having so much fun picking grapes and drinking grape juice. And then this card by Tammy is so sweet and whimsical, and I love how she used the dragons with the castle to create a cute little scene. Yainea's little shaker tag is perfect for a little birthday gift. And then Mindy pulled out some of the other fun magical creatures in the lawnfawn collection to create a cute little scene with a little dragon. Here is Audrey's card that inspired the card that I created in today's video. It's so cute. And then here is another look at the Year 14 card that I created. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye!